If you thought you'd seen the limits of punishment in gaming, 2026 is about to make you think again. This year, Soulslikes aren't just coming back, they're coming harder, darker, and more merciless than ever. From worlds where every step could be your last, to combat systems that punish even the smallest mistake, these aren't games for the faint of heart. I've scoured everything confirmed for release, and today we're breaking down the 10 most brutal Souls-like experiences of 2026. The ones that will test your skill, patience, and sanity. Strap in, this is going to hurt. Echoes of Aincrad drops you straight into the deadly world of Sword Art Online, but this time you're not just watching the story, you're living it. You create your own character, gear up, and fight through the floating castle of Aincrad, where every fight matters and every mistake can cost you dearly. With real-time combat that makes dodging and parrying feel meaningful, deep progression, and that looming death game vibe where one wrong move could be the end, this one looks like it'll scratch that brutal action RPG itch, especially if you love high stakes and tough enemies.
If you've got some coin, rumored monster hideouts and counter skills, all yours for the low, low price of 20,000 core.
It's always about money with you, huh?
Of course. You can't browse the internet in here, so information is everything.
Do you think they're gonna make the game even harder?
Yeah, it's bound to exceed expectations.
Seems like I'll need to gather lots of new information.
When the game officially launches, let's team up again, alright? You better believe we're coming back for you, Aincrad!
Attention players, I welcome you to my world.
I think it's in our best interest to get as strong as possible, because we were a part of the beta testing, and that will be our saving grace.
I ask because you all seem quite capable.
The others I teamed up with before were all so terrified of fighting, they stayed cooped up in town. I felt so powerless, awful, really, about being stuck in this game, unable to do anything.
I've been thinking about this! It's crazy to think dying here means dying out there!
I've only got one thing to say to you. Let's win.
Why'd you let DinoBlade die?
A beater, huh? It's got a nice ring to it.
I'm done. This isn't a game anymore. We might be lacking in the strength department, but we'll figure it out. We can do this.
I don't plan to wait for death.
If I beat you in a duel, will that convince you?
Where I go and why is my business.
Why us?
If you thought survival RPGs were brutal before, Outward 2 turns that up to 11. This sequel drops you back into the unforgiving world of Ori as an ordinary traveler, not some chosen hero, and everything from hunger and weather to every fight can smack you down if you're not ready. Combat feels weighty and deliberate, gear matters more than button mashing, and every choice has real consequences. It's not just about surviving monsters, it's about surviving being you in a world that doesn't cut slack.
Be defined by the calm that came before. A time to ponder. What does it take to vanquish what is bigger and meaner than you? It's going to take everything you got.
DinoBlade is basically a Souls-like, where you're a sword-wielding dinosaur in a brutal prehistoric world. You play as a young Spinosaurus, clutching a giant greatsword in its jaws, learning enemy patterns, timing your dodges and parries, and carving your way through giant predators to survive extinction. Every biome feels alive and dangerous. dusty canyons, misty jungles, and alpha predators guarding each path forward. If Souls-like combat mixed with raw, feral intensity sounds like your kind of punishment, this could be one of the most savage games coming in 2026. This sequel is shaping up to be one of the brutal standouts of 2026. Mortal Shell 2 finally expands the eerie, weighty combat of the original into a twisted open world full of danger. You'll still possess the bodies of fallen warriors to unlock unique abilities, but now there's a bigger map, deeper weapon upgrades, and over 60 brutal dungeons waiting to test your nerves and reflexes. With adrenaline-charged fights and a dark fantasy world that doesn't forgive mistakes, this is shaping up to be a must-play for tough-love Souls-like fans in 2026.
That's why she made you. To tread the unfound path. This foul passenger, he's the poison in your mother's heart. You must become the cure.
Who goes there? Oh, you look familiar. Can you...
If the idea of a dark, unforgiving castle makes your stomach twist, Decrepit might be exactly the kind of punishment you're craving. This first-person Souls-like throws you into a forsaken, undead-infested fortress where every death drags you back into the dungeons, stripped of gear but armed with hard-earned knowledge. Combat isn't about button mashing, it's stamina, timing, reading patterns, and punishing mistakes in real time. With shifting enemy encounters and shortcuts that make each run feel like progress, surviving this castle isn't just skill, it's strategy. This one might surprise you. Triarchy isn't just another dungeon crawler, it blends Souls-like style melee combat with a world you actually explore instead of just fight through. You and up to 2 friends sail a drowned archipelago, hunt massive bosses with deliberate timing and dodges, and craft legendary gear while customizing your ship. A floating base that goes wherever you chart. And the combat? It rewards patience and precision with stamina-driven melee, parries, and brutal patterns that hit hard if you overcommit. If this mix of open-world adventure and relentless boss fights sticks the landing, Triarchy could be one of 2026's sleeper hits. This one feels completely different. Glaciered drops you 65 million years into the future, where Earth is frozen solid and all life survives beneath the ice. You're not even human. You play as this evolved bird-like creature called a two-eye, fighting through these glowing underwater ecosystems that look beautiful, but are seriously dangerous. Combat mixes fast melee, ranged abilities, and even controlling heat and cold mid-fight, which gives it that Souls-like edge, but in a setting we've honestly never seen before. If they really deliver on that atmosphere and combat, this could end up being one of the most unique and strangely brutal games of 2026.
I want you to chase them down. No, more accurately, I want you to track down their targets. Can you feel it? The smell mixed into the water, and the vibrations.
The water is shaking.
Something's hiding here. Be prepared. Watch out! This thing is the most dangerous foe we've seen yet. What is that?
A samurai, a cursed gauntlet, and a version of Japan that's completely gone to hell. Onimusha, Way of the Sword, isn't trying to be a Soulslike. It's doing its own thing. Fast, precise sword fights, parries, instant kills. It's all about that perfect clash of blades instead of just surviving hits. You're fighting through a dark fantasy Kyoto, cutting down demons called Genma, while this supernatural power literally feeds off their souls. And the wild part? This is the first new Onimusha in over 20 years. So yeah, expectations are high. If they get the combat right, this could be a serious comeback.
Musashi is struck down, but finds himself revived with an Oni gauntlet on his arm. Now, Musashi has a new goal. Rise up against the monstrous Genma ravaging the land, and carve himself a new fate. But his path is not a lonesome one. A vibrant cast of allies awaits.
Musashi!
And his old rival, Sasaki Ganryu, stands firmly in his way. With blade in hand and fate in the balance, will Musashi's bloody battles against formidable foes deliver him hope or despair? Kyoto's history is abound with many strange tales and unsettling mysteries, and you can experience strands of these hidden legends woven throughout the story. Feel the ring of steel on steel, intense duels. Reduce enemies to pieces with a devastating Isen. Parry and deflect attacks with well-timed blocks to turn the tide of battle in your favor. And, of course, absorb souls with the Oni Gauntlet to recover health or ready powerful abilities. Moving from one bloody and desperate battle to the next, Musashi searches for his reason to fight.
This one? Yeah, it looks like a Soulslike, but it really isn't. Phantom Blade Zero is way faster, way more aggressive. You're basically playing as an assassin in this dark wuxia world, chaining insane combos, dodging at high speed. It feels closer to a martial arts movie than a slow, methodical grind. And that's the twist. The devs straight up said they're not trying to copy the Souls formula. They're building something new, with fluid, combo-driven combat and multiple difficulty options instead of just punishing everyone equally. If it delivers, this might be the game that pulls Souls fans into something completely different.
No one goes near that place, at least not anymore, but you. If my darkness
I knew it. You'd never break so easily. But why did you come back?
The Order's blades are coming. They failed once, but they won't fail again.
Please, take it. Save our people. The girl's nothing but a shell now. She'll never be the same.
You broke my blade. But we broke your spirit.
Phantom is movement, striking from where none expect. Blade is breath. We channel it into steel, turning any blade into a divine weapon. When Phantom and Blade unite, no enemy stands.
Who are you?
Imagine a Soulslike where the real enemy isn't just the monsters, it's other players hunting you at the same time. That's Mistfall Hunter. A dark fantasy world where the gods are dead, the land is corrupted, and every run is basically a gamble. You go in, fight through monsters, grab loot, and then pray you actually make it out alive. Combat looks fast and skill-based too, mixing magic and melee, switching weapons mid-fight, hitting weak points. But the twist is that PvP element always lurking. Die out there, you lose everything. So yeah, this isn't just about surviving the world, it's about surviving everyone else in it.
Do you dare hope? Then let the hunt.
And those are the most brutal Souls-like games coming in 2026. And yeah, it's looking like a painful year ahead. Which one are you actually ready to suffer through? Or is there a game that's already broken you before it's even out? Drop it in the comments. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe, because more pain is definitely on the way.